And good day to our friends around the world. This is, of course, a political talk show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 on that AM dial and WRMN1410.com. It is Free Speech Friday here on A Political Talk Show. Most of the time throughout the week, we focus on single subjects. We go and expand a little bit further. Maybe we'll do an hour on an article of the Constitution, or maybe we'll talk about macroeconomics of the beef industry. Whatever you want to do, that's what we'll talk about. But here on Free Speech Friday, we do a rundown of multiple different news stories throughout the week. And of course, it is Epstein Day, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Also, it's before the Bears game tomorrow, so we'll talk about a little bit of the political play that the Bears may be doing with Governor Pritzker and Springfield by bringing up Gary, Indiana, the greater Chicagoland area, and greater is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. We've got one returning champion here for Free Speech Friday, and that is our good friend, Mr. David Tees. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Hey, love being here with you guys today.
Since we've also got you on, so we'll talk Bears, and then we'll also talk about some of the meetings that you've been to for some of these tax codes and extra things that have been going on. But how have you been, buddy?
I've been doing good. Cold today.
It is. Are the Bears are playing up north tomorrow, aren't they?
No, they're playing in Chicago.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's supposed to be pretty cold too tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah. By the time the game starts, I was just talking to a friend of mine at his house, doing a little work there in Marengo, really quickly to get a story started on that. He used to be one of the equipment guys for the Bears. You know, kind of retired and from doing that, but they had to call him back in because the guy who was the equipment manager for the referees had a heart attack and passed away.
Oh no!
So he had to come in last week and go all the way up to Green Bay and do. Oh, is it no the Browns? He came in for the Browns to do that. It was bitter cold, and now he's got to be there tomorrow for that game.
Wow!
And so he's going to give me a referee hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I know, a referee hat.
That'll be a really good.
John wants a referee hat for the show tomorrow and a referee flag. So he can throw them at me when I mispronounce a name. You know,
so,
yeah. That's going to go over good.
You get
but
hit
no,
with that yellow flag right in.
No, but the temperature, I told him the temperature by the time the game comes is going to be 11 degrees around close to game time, maybe about 12, 13. But then, the wind chill probably be like 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's supposed to maybe get a little closer to the 40s as the high, but it's a late game.
Well, no,
so
actually,
it's already going to be down.
Right, our highs are going to be 30, 31.
Oh,
tomorrow.
my goodness.
Yeah, they changed that.
Oh, my goodness.
I
That's
know.
terrible. I'm going to be indoors for that
I am
one.
too. I'm going to be laying in my bed watching my big screen TV.
I've been to a Bears game once, and then so I've hit at least all of them: Soldier Field, and then Sox Stadium, and then Wrigley as well. So I've been to at least all of them. Did my the tour, I guess, of the.
What about the Bulls or the
Chicago
Blackhawks?
I haven't been
United
into
Center?
any of that. The United Center. Well, not to go see a game.
Oh, okay.
I think I've been to the United Center for Monster Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a great time too.
I don't get into monster trucks.
Oh,
I never did. It was, but I actually had the pleasure of, and I'm sure Dean did, had the pleasure of going to the old stadium.
Oh, really?
I went to Game 6, Chicago Bulls championship game against the Portland Trailblazers. Where the Bulls, the game, fourth quarter, they were down by 20. They put all their scrubs in there, their second guys, and they started coming back. And to a point where they threw everybody back in with 2 minutes left, and they won the championships there. I still have my ticket stub.
Wow.
And that place was rocking. And I've been to the United Center to see the Bulls and the Hawks. I've been to Soldiers. I've been to a couple Bears game. When you went, was it cold or was it?
It was a little cold, not cold to the point where like a lot of these people are like freezing. What was it? I saw one like a TikTok video where a guy had a Pepsi, and then all he did was just open it, and it just instantly started freezing when he was there at one of the games. It was crazy.
I'm going to tell you one of the most, and I just saw the video yesterday on TV. One of the most memorable moments in a Bears game was the guy who leaped out of the stands, and that's a high drop, and to catch the field goal ball that went over the net, and he jumped and just came down, and it was a big drop. Caught the ball, landed on his feet, one of the biggest stories. If you could ever look that up,
I'm
look it
gonna
up
have
on
to
YouTube or
now.
something like that. Guy who catches football jumping out of the seats. And I think they said that drop was probably about 30, 40 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't break a leg or an ankle. Caught the
So
ball, though.
when we come back, we will talk about the Bears, their move, some
Mhm.
of the bills that they've got to still pay before they can move, at least what Springfield is trying to get them to do.
Huh.
The almost, what is it, $900 million of infrastructure they're also asking for from the state as well. So, a lot of different things. We'll also talk about the Affordable Care Act and that enhanced or Obamacare subsidies, as the tax credits are called sometimes. We'll talk about what happened over this week, right before they went to an early vacation. For everything, we'll talk about the 4 Republicans that joined the Democrats to get a razor thin vote, and we'll talk about how this is supposed to be Epstein Day, but for some reason, the administration is going to stretch it across another 2 weeks of
Yeah.
release. So it's supposed to be due today. So I don't know if I went to my English teacher and said, "Yeah, I knew I was supposed to write that book report, but what if I give it to you across the next 14 days?" in 150 word increments. I think I'd get an A. Well, stick around. We've got more A Political Talk Show here on WRMN. We'll see you then. Welcome back to A Political Talk Show here on WRMN. I don't know if I've mentioned it already. I probably have, but WRMN1410.com. Great place to go. You can listen live over there 24 hours a day on that digital side. In case, the boss doesn't let you bring a radio into the office, you're sitting at your cubicle, you're like, I gotta listen to WRMN.
I know.
You could just pull it right up on the browser right there. If you want to watch us, it's youtube.com. WRMN Radio is the place to search for that one. Like and subscribe while you're over there. Every single one of them helps, counts, etc., etc. Getting that message out there into the world. Joining me today is Bears fan and host of Fantasy Football Blitz. That would be Mr. David Tees. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Thank you. It's fun being here on a cold Friday night.
Oh, yes. So, the pride and joy of Northwest Indiana, Bears president floats a move as a deal for Arlington Park stalls. Stymied by hopes of a property tax break and infrastructure dollars for a new stadium and entertainment complex in Arlington Heights, Chicago Bears officials Wednesday expanded their stadium search across state lines to Northwest Indiana. So there's a great article on the Daily Herald if you want to read that. It is Bears expand stadium search to Northwest Indiana as deal for Arlington Park stalls. What are your first reactions to this off the bat?
Don't like it.
Yeah, I'm
I
there
mean,
with you.
Yeah, I've been in Hammond, Indiana, to visit the Wild McLean Boiler Factory. Interesting tour, but I don't like it. I mean, there's other proposals that they talked about: Waukegan, Naperville, Aurora.
Okay.
Those were other sites that threw their hat in there. And like I said, Hampshire now, hopefully Elgin. But yeah, there's different sites out there. There's different people that are weighing in, and I'm sure there's gonna be more.
Yeah, I mean, they essentially opened up the radius at that point, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they have the center of Chicago where they're at now. If you drew Arlington Heights radius, you're not going to get too far south.
right.
If you still swung it around, you're still south side of Chicago. Now with this, if you're willing to go all the way down to, like you said, Hammond,
Yeah,
I mean,
Gary.
that's pretty far considering it's Chicagoland area, I guess, if what you want to keep calling it. But if you were to swing that compass around the other direction, you're back over into the suburbs.
Right.
So why not go a little bit further out into the suburbs? Is this a fight between the Bears and the state?
Yes, it is. This is Prisher probably saying, you leave Chicago, we're not going to give you any money. We're not going to
Mhm.
assist you with this. And the Bears, I'll tell you what, there's rules to the NFL that you have to have a stadium with so much seating, indoor, outdoor.
Mhm.
I think it's like 83,000. And the Bears don't have that. The Soldier Field does not have that.
And so they're paying fines or whatever
Well,
else,
no, I
right?
mean, you got to have that to have a host a Super Bowl.
Oh, so that's the ultimate end. And
Yes.
what, maybe 2030, 32-ish?
Right. When the stadium's done, there
Mhm.
could be a Super Bowl here in 2030-ish in that area. But that's why the proposed sites in Arlington had that option with a dome,
Mhm.
and they have that option to be able to host a Super Bowl.
Okay.
So that's why the Bears are pushing for a new site, because with the renovation they did in Chicago, it got more seats, but it didn't push them to that point
Mm.
in order to host a Super Bowl. I would love to have a Super Bowl here.
Yeah, it would be great,
I would love to go
especially
to
this
one.
far over.
It's on my bucket list. I'm just too cheap to go
To go-
someplace.
oh my goodness,
And
yes.
it's too expensive.
Yeah, I have access to season tickets and to buy them for each year, and it is up there. So
Yeah.
I usually pass. So the Arlington Heights mayor, Jim Tianglia, is that how you pronounce it?
I think, yeah.
Tinaglia,
Close to it.
Tinaglia, said this whole thing about the possibility of them leaving the state of Illinois has to be considered either a very dark day for the entire state, especially Cook County, or it has to be considered some sort of wake-up call for everyone in Illinois to recognize and try to get their arms around it.
Mhm.
I mean, this is obviously a political play because that's who's stopping this. If
Right.
it was a strictly capitalistic type of let the industry decide what was going on, more than likely it would go there. But you wouldn't get the extra tax breaks and you wouldn't
Right.
get the extra, yes, we'll promise a couple $1 million for infrastructure for you, et cetera, et cetera. So is this them trying to like have their cake and eat it too? The Bears themselves. I know you don't want to put any blame on the Holy Bears.
No, we
But,
don't do
but
that.
I'm just saying, is this them trying to say, look, this is a purely business decision for everything, but we want almost $1 billion in tax breaks or debt forgiveness. Not
Right.
They owe the Parks District almost $500 million still.
Mhm.
So they're trying to get out of that and get another, like $700, $800 million for infrastructure and tax breaks from Arlington Heights. So, I mean, will Gary be able to give that? Will Hammond be able to give that?
I don't think so. They don't have
Plymouth
enough revenue.
is
Yeah,
gonna
they don't have
show
enough
up?
revenue. There's not enough. There's not enough jobs in Gary and in Hammond. I've been
Mhm.
in there. It's a dark place. Plus, they got a lot of rural farmland in Indiana, so they're not going to get the money to do that. But it's like the Bears. You can't blame them for trying. I mean, you
Mhm.
could get what you can to help out, but it's like me trying to say, I want to build a new house, but if the state doesn't help me with my driveway and
Mhm.
maybe a little bit of the house, I might move to Gary, Indiana, and build a house over there.
There you go. And
Yeah.
watch the 8 games a year
Yeah.
that you get in the stadium now.
Well, you got preseason and then
Oh,
possible
okay.
playoffs. Come on,
Maybe
little
10
bit more,
games,
yeah.
12 games. All right.
But
12 days a year we'll do this. What are they going to do with the stadium any other time? They said they were going to make it an entertainment complex. Are they looking at taking this Arlington Heights Stadium and having more of like the United Center and being
Oh,
able
yeah.
to put on more shows throughout the year?
Oh yeah, just think about it. There, I mean, if you saw the plans, how they got the models and everything, and what it's projected to look like, a hotel,
Mm.
indoor stadium, seating about 85,000, retractable roof too.
Okay.
So,
So it could be an outside
outdoor, indoor. Because the one in
Mhm.
Arizona that they built a couple of years ago has their field actually comes outside. It gets
Yeah.
dragged outside and then water and all that, and then it gets put back inside.
I wasn't in the stadium for the Super Bowl out there, but I was around the stadium for it. I
Yeah.
was down for the press pass and things.
But
They don't let you into the game. They don't like if you get invited to press row to cover the game.
Yeah.
That's as far as you get. You still have to buy your own tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's free in the world, right?
Yeah.
But with this whole thing, and then they had a proposal of restaurants, entertainment venues into there, strip mall shopping. It was going to have a little bit of everything. Plus, you got to remember, every year they run and have the NFL draft at certain locations. This year, next draft for 26 is going to be in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So, and they had it in Chicago once. It draws in revenue, but having that dome and having seasonal stuff, monster truck pull. Think about this: national conventions for Republicans or the Democrats.
Yeah.
Since this is a political talk show, we can still talk about that. But you could have a Democrat or Republican convention there. You got the hotels, you got the restaurants.
Yeah.
It's all about bringing revenue into the state.
Hmm.
Now, the old stadium in Chicago could be used for soccer.
Yeah.
Hispanics population in Chicago is very large, very huge. And
Or some of these minor leagues that are or these minor league teams
Right.
that aren't filling the Rosemont one, like where the Bandits used to play.
right.
Like it needing maybe something a little bit bigger. I mean,
Mhm.
for concerts still. To
Right.
go down there for a concert in Soldier Field, that's amazing.
You can ask this gentleman here if he was like, one of the big top bands. You play at Rosemont, that only fits how many people in?
Yeah, which one would you rather play
Or
at,
would you play a new stadium
Nick?
filled with 83,000 seats and you could sell it out? Would you do Rosemont or would you do the new stadium?
Yeah. Well, I wonder if there's even bands that are popular enough nowadays to fill it out with the way that the music industry, like there's Taylor Swift and a few handful
Yeah, she
of
could sell it
bands.
out a couple days.
But I think the concert industry in general is like struggling.
And everybody's partnered up too. I mean, Styx and Foreigner have played together for decades now. So
Yeah.
everybody's kind of forming these groups where they play maybe like
Three bands.
2/3 of an album and they all play their hits.
Yeah.
Maybe they get like 7-8 songs and then the next one comes on.
Def Leppard did that.
And that sells out a little bit more.
Yeah, but they're having to be creative with how they do that. But yeah, live music in general, like it is. It's not like it used to be. I don't think.
Oh, no, not back in AC/DC.
Yeah.
You had Dio and
Mm-hmm.
Twisted Ozzy. Ozzy
Yeah.
would sell out. I went to a lot of Ozzy concerts.
Yeah,
Iron Maiden. But, Paul McCartney's back on tour, I heard.
I know.
And then
Yeah.
there's a guy that could sell that place out 3 days, easy.
Probably, yeah.
It's supposed to be his last final tour, we hope. I heard Elton John's back out performing, too.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah.
And then again, from an artist perspective, although, the financial gain is probably nice to be able to play a gigantic place,
Mhm.
you'd probably rather do just a little more intimate, like a Rosemont, a few more nights and actually feel, I don't know.
Elgin had, back in October 2nd, I think it was, Metal Fest.
Yeah.
And there were people staying at the Holiday Inn where we had our dinner over there, a big dinner. And I'll tell you this, there were people, I asked, where are you from? And they were Canada. They were coming from Canada, New York to Elgin.
yeah.
And I was shocked
Yeah,
as to it.
yeah.
It wasn't a big venue, but it was Metal Fest. These people were like, yep, we go to this wherever it is every year.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
good
that's
for you.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, filling up a place like that, it was my dream when I was playing in bands. It'd be one
Yeah.
day be that guy over there at Poplar Creek Music Theater.
Now, I saw Beyonce and Jay-Z at Soldier Field,
Yeah.
and that was the biggest venue I'd ever seen a concert in. And I mean, it wasn't intimate, but they had the big screens. But I think, they had seating on the actual,
Field, yeah.
Yeah, on the
On
field, and-
Pink Floyd played there.
yeah,
Big
that was a
concert.
huge concert.
Thanks for jumping in with us, Nick.
Yeah.
And travel safe. You want to
you.
hear Nick? He's out there already on the YouTube side of things. Nick Sanzuri, Sanzeri. That's the one to go to. Nick plays some bass, and he'll be playing some bass near you. You can go ahead and find him out there on the internet. Thanks a lot for being here, Nick. Thank you for being here,
I'll get the
listener.
door for you.
We'll see you guys on the other side of this bottom of the hour break. News and weather. Talk show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. Thanks for listening on that AM dial. Thanks for watching on YouTube. And thanks for streaming over there on WRMN1410.com, where you can see our whole schedule, including Fantasy Football Blitz, Saturday mornings with our good friend here, Mr. David Tees.
Hey, the good show. Got to watch it.
It is.
Matter of fact, I had Andro Lorario texted me last night as to who to start for his lineup.
You're already getting pegged outside of the show.
Yeah.
Like,
I was in Jewel. I'm not joking. A guy came up to me and he watches the show and he was asking me who to start. And I'm just out there shopping, you know. But it's nice. It's nice to know that there are people listening to all of our shows. We have a lot to offer here in the Fox Valley area. This is a great station, and it's getting better every day.
Yep. And if you're looking at maybe sponsoring a show as good as Fantasy Football Blitz, you can send an email out to sales@WRMN1410.com. Or if you're just inquiring about some info, you can always send us an email at info@WRMN1410.com. Great place to give back to the community and to be featured in local community broadcasting, where it is local people that are watching. It's available across the entire nation, across the entire world.
Right.
But we want to make sure that it is targeted content to people that will come in and out of your shop and sit around and have a good conversation with you.
And everybody here, we're like family. And I'll tell you what, having like I told Dean 2 days ago, I'm glad to be a part of this. I'm glad to have the opportunity to do a show on Saturday. I've never done radio before, but you guys gave me the confidence and the knowledge to do it. And that's what family do. We come together and we stick together. And this is what this station does. I mean, we open our doors and our arms to people, and we want to help out. And there's been a lot of good stuff this Christmas. I mean, with City Limits, raised a lot of money for that interview we did here for the kids, low-income kids for their Christmas party. Their eyes were so big when they got those $100 gift cards, plus toys, plus a good meal. And
we had Somebody's Daughter Is Loved, had their event just up the road over here. Throughout the year, we've also got the America's First Responders Fest that we do in September. We are also looking at doing maybe a block party for this year's anniversary for us here, taking that WRMN tradition back over. We're absolutely working on that community center every single day to get that open so that you've got a place to come downtown and just hang out with friends. No pressure, no nothing. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing that always kills me when you go and meet some people or you want to go and hang out at with a club or a group. You either got to go to somebody's house and then they've got to cater and they've got to clean and they've got to clean up after and all the other stuff. Or you go to a restaurant and then there's always the pressure that you don't want to be a loiterer, right? You don't want to spend you want to spend a couple hours with your friends, but you don't want to eat up a table for a while. And the other side of it too is maybe it's the pressure of buying some stuff, like maybe you're just going for the club and going to a club meeting or something, and you still got to buy the coffee, or you still got to you got the waitress that's looking at you the whole time going, "You want another water?" So what we're hoping to have is a space that doesn't have that pressure, that you can meet people and communicate with the community. There's a lot of different spaces that we go to, but we need to make that third space that's out there, that's outside of home and work or school and home and whatever else.
You know, a lot of big radio stations, they're either on the 50th floor or the 20th floor.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't
we're here on
see
the
'em.
first floor looking outside a window, which I get distracted sometimes. My mom said, what are you looking at? I said, people walking up down the street, I get distracted. Like Susie gets distracted with the squirrels and guys walking dogs. But here we're on the first floor. We're looking out the window. People could see us. I mean, we've grabbed people off the
Yeah.
streets before and said, "Come on in here." Remember the kids?
You
And
don't get that from
you don't
canned
get
stations, right? There's a
right.
lot of canned stations out there that'll play the national stuff, that'll play whatever the networks tell them to play and stuff. So we try to make sure that we get some community
Well, yeah,
programming out to you.
and that's what makes this station unique because we're opening ourselves to the public. We
Mhm.
want them to be a part of us. And these other stations, we don't see them. They won't take the time of day. Hey, there goes David Cheese. Let's drag him in here. We don't know who he is, but let's just drag him in here and talk fantasy football. But
That's
no,
very true. No, we to that vein. That's why we're opening up the information side of it. So send us your thoughts of what you would like this community radio station to be focused on this next year. So info at WRMN1410.com. Send us an email and say, look, I'd like to have maybe a show about pets. Can
Ooh,
we
yeah.
get a beer show finally? That's the suggestion I've been putting in there. Do we want to lean more into the sports side of it, right? Because we've got the Sox, we've got the Bears.
Mhm.
Maybe we want to pick up a minor league
Boomers.
or maybe pick up another sport. We try to play the NCAA basketball games for March Madness when we get through those. But there are a whole bunch of schools and colleges and semi-pros that we can reach out to. So if you've got a suggestion of what you want your community station to look like, send it on over to info at WRMN1410.com. Let us know what you want. That's what we'd like to be. We're your station. We don't need to be our station that you listen to.
Yeah.
It is your station, and we want to make sure we deliver it to you.
And and you and Dino gave my mom what she wanted, which was a lot of people wanted. Local news.
Yes.
You got two time spots. You got what, 10 to 11 and 5 to 6.
Yep. So I do the news where I pull from a whole bunch of different places.
Yeah.
From Shaw Local, the Daily Herald. We get some AP or even some Washington Post every once in a while.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's locally focused. I go through all of those different publications and I cherry pick all of the local stories.
Right.
If you want to go hear about what happened in some other state about a thing, or you want to hear about the federal government talking about a thing that really doesn't affect us here in
Right.
Illinois or the Fox River Valley, there are plenty of places to go for that. What we want to do is we want to highlight this area. So at 10 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, we've got the 10 o'clock news,
Mhm.
and then we replay that news again with any updates that happen throughout the day. If there's any other stories or any update for that
Right.
story, we go again for news at 5. So that way you get a good buffer. I like to call the 10 o'clock news the earliest 10 o'clock news in Chicagoland.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that we get that information out to you local and quick.
A lot of people get off work at 5 o'clock, so you can't make it home in time to watch the 5 o'clock news.
Yeah.
You could turn it on in your car and hear what's going on in your area.
Yes,
That's
you can.
one of the unique things about it.
Yep. You guys also talked about putting more sports together. So
Mhm.
we reached out to the Sox. We brought them over
Yes.
this year, and then also got the Bears this year as well. So that's what I mean. We are making changes for you. We heard what you were asking for. We heard what you were missing in the area, and we decided to give you something for that. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hit our offbeat story, which also is a super headline as well. We mixed the White House with an offbeat story with our own version of the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
We call them the Patriot Games, the youth contests for 2026. We've got an announcement from the White House about the Patriot Games. We'll talk about that coming up right after this.
Do we have a suggestion box?
Yeah, I mean, I can. The suggestion box
Like an online
is
suggestion box. 'Cause that's what Dean is
yeah,
saying here. Yeah, we should have a
info at
there you go.
WRMN1410.com. You can send it to there. News is another great place. What I can also set up is suggestions at WRMN
Okay.
1410. I can set up that pathway too, but all kinds of different ways. Info is probably the best
Mhm.
way to get information, send information. The text line's always open 24 hours a day as well, 505-926-1410. And even during this show, you can give us a
Yeah.
call, 847-931-1410.
We can think what you want to hear, but we'd rather have you tell us what you want to
Yeah,
hear.
I don't like guessing.
Help us help you. Help us help you.
More apolitical talk show after this. Welcome back to Apolitical Talk Show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Onar Green. I am with David Tees. That's right, the David Tees of Fantasy Football Blitz. You can listen to him on Saturday mornings. How is it going back to having the show before a Bears game? And the Bears decided to shift their schedule to match yours.
Well, really nice of them for
Yeah.
us to have a pre-game show there on Saturday mornings. Yeah, I'm a little bit excited about that. Now that you just brought that up, I never thought about that.
Yeah, you get it again. Like you used to be on Sundays so that you could set your lineup because, like me,
Yeah,
I
before
set,
games,
I set
yeah.
my lineup like Thursday afternoon and
Mhm.
Sunday morning when I get into it. So that's where you were, and then we moved you over to Saturdays with all the other sports shows that we've got
Right.
together, and then the Bears decided to follow you as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, yeah. Hey, maybe that's why they're winning because they're listening to Fantasy Football Blitz in the morning.
Hey, maybe they're setting their lineup based off of yours.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's going, I think I'll start DeAndre Swift today. And
Well, Susan Collins wrote a book called The Hunger Games. That was
Right.
another game that was put out there. But on Thursday, President Donald Trump announced the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day event for the top high school athletes in Washington, D.C. next fall as part of the 2026 semi-quincentennial celebrations. As part of the 250th anniversary slate, organizers created Freedom 250 to produce signature moments and coordinate events nationwide through 2026, the president said. A lot of people are comparing the Patriot Games that were announced to the Hunger Games. Specifically, the games is a state spectacle in Pan Am where youth tributes are selected and compelled to fight to the death
Yeah.
for the capital's entertainment and domination. So I don't know. At this point, you can almost point at anything and go, "That's dystopian. That's just like they made a movie about that. They made a movie and a book about almost anything
oh, yeah.
that could be abused." So, is this a slip towards this, or is this just a happy celebration?
I didn't care for the Hunger Games movie. I really didn't. It didn't make sense to me. But that being said, I think it's for the celebration part.
Mhm.
I mean, 250 years. I'm around to see it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be around to see 275, okay? Or 300, okay? Definitely not 300. But,
But
yeah,
still, for this one, yeah.
yeah, I'll be up to 110 years old to see the 300th anniversary. But what are involved in these games? Did they got any details? I mean,
So I don't think so. I think essentially all they were going to do was send the best male and female youth.
Right.
So whether it's high school athlete or something like that, I'm not entirely sure what the specifics are. But in the announcement, it was essentially that they were going to send the best male and female to Washington, D.C. From each state to compete in the games, right? So it's kind of the same kind of premise of the Hunger Games too, where youth as a national spectacle, right? You bring the kids on, you let the kids do a thing, and
Right.
have all of that. So both games place adolescents at the center of like a ritualized public event that purports to represent the nation, right? You're going to represent states, you're going to represent the territories for the Hunger Games. And then
That's
in
cool.
in this case with the Washington D.C., that's the Pan Am, right? That's
Yeah.
the state that isn't really a state.
It's kind of like an Olympics in a way, you know.
Mhm.
Kids in Olympics. I know one event won't be going on into that one where they throw the pole the farthest, you know.
Oh, the javelin.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
javelin. I don't think that's going to be there.
Yeah. Well, and this is where a lot of people are like, the structural rhyme is there. Like the instead of like a team of like 4 or like the best 2, it is specifically a young man, young woman side of it. So the structural rhyme's the same for it. It's 2 tributes per district in the book, 1 girl and 1 boy that
Right.
were randomly selected. And then in Trump's plan, it describes 1 young woman, 1 young man per state and territory. That resemblance is formal rather than substantive. But it's obviously a trigger and easily to be memed out or put into that team's same
I'm
side.
still wondering what they're going to be competing against. I mean, are they going to have
Each other, yeah.
Well, I mean, what events though? I mean, that's what. Are
Maybe
they going to have
Olympics?
little stick horses and Paul Revere hats on there and go around the track, yeah, galloping and going? The British are coming. The British are coming, and the person that wins that one, I'm still confused as to what the games are going to be. Are we still panning that out in Washington? Or?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Because it's all part of the Freedom 250, and they haven't really put much of it out either. It's one of these things of like, we've kind of come up with a thing, but we haven't really figured out necessarily what date or how many or how. But it's supposed to be a 4-day event, is what they're hoping to schedule it.
Pie eating contest.
So
or
I
something
hope
like
so,
that.
because what's more American than a pie eating contest?
Yeah, I
That's
know,
what I
yeah.
would hope, is an
Yeah.
American game.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, let's play like
Hopscotch.
Monopoly.
Yeah.
Let's play baseball, hopscotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe tiddlywinks too.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, I think.
Ooh,
Is
that
an
would be a
American
good one
game.
in the White House.
That would be a good one. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to play on ESPN Ocho or anything like that. It's probably going to be a little bit better programming than what we got from the president a few days ago.
Yeah.
I think I once would have like another 5 million people. I think I probably would have watched the season finale of Survivor instead.
You know, I really hate to throw this out there, but I honestly have to.
Mhm.
If there is a pie eating contest, don't ask Matt McNeil to make the pies because Elliot still hasn't
He'll
gotten
never
his
show
pie
up.
yet. Yeah, no, there won't be no pies for that event.
How many did you eat? We all tied at 0.
Where's the pies? Matt was supposed to make them. Elliot's like, I knew he didn't do it.
Exactly. Well, the other side of it too is, this is the side of it, is the political function of the Hunger Games were more of a punishment, more of a suppression of the territories. This is supposed to be intended as a celebration.
Mhm.
This is supposed to be like if a bunch of different high schools came together and competed for anything else that they compete for nationwide anyway, right? We don't turn around and go, oh, the STEM team went to Washington, D.C. to go participate in the Hunger Games. Like, no, they went to the Washington, D.C. to participate in robotics or a math or spelling
Right,
contest.
the
right?
Constitution contest.
Yeah, like we're not jumping to those conclusions either. This is where sometimes I think it's fun to kind of compare everything to the dystopian that people seem to think Donald Trump is ushering in. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that like that's just low hanging fruit, like to just turn around and do it. So I don't know.
It's unique. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to say it's unique. It's different. It's maybe something we need to see
Mhm.
in our lifetime. And I like the idea. That's the thing I like. The idea of it.
Well, do you think he should have called it maybe something else other than the Patriot Games, considering how close it is to the Hunger Games?
What would you call it though?
I don't know, like America's Olympics, but then you're back to Greece or something.
The American
I don't know.
Games.
The American Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, the games aspect of it. Maybe they don't know what games, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah, right.
Video games. I know those
Call of Duty's
those
competition.
e-gamers.
Call
Those
of
e-
Duty competitions.
What are we gonna do? Arm wrestling?
Ooh, now that's an American game.
Who can hold their breath the longest? Like, like what are we doing around here? I'd like to at least see the games. Can we put in to the games like American games? You know, beer pong. is
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
the
yeah.
other side of it too.
There you go.
That so if you if you have a game that you would like to see in the Patriot game, send us a text.
The grand prize
505
game.
the grand prize game. That would be great. 505-926-1410. What games should be in America's Patriot games? Stick
Tell us
around.
something.
We've got more apolitical talk show coming up after this. What do you guys? Somebody on the chat?
Oh, no.
already
Hey,
coming
chat in on YouTube. Tell us what the games are.
Hello, America, and good day to our friends around the world. This is a political talk show here on WRMN. WRMN 1410 on that AM dial, and of course, WRMN1410.com. My name is Dennis Sonard Green. I am joined today with my good friend here, Mr. David Tees. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
Thank you for thinking me.
It's Free Speech Friday. We join you on this show today, so please jump in 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. You can also jump in on the chat line, just like Brendan has. We've also got Jeff sitting over there, the Dutchman. I think Dean's jumped in too. The boss lady's sitting there somewhere, I'm sure, lurking.
Brendan got a new Christmas tree.
They did, Brendan. That's a beautiful tree.
I wonder what his favorite ornament to put on there.
Ooh, which one's your favorite ornament? You got one?
Not really.
We do this. We do the star, but we've got a Mario Nintendo star to put on top of our tree. That's my favorite.
Yeah, see,
decoration.
I'm married. I'm not allowed to have a favorite ornament on there. Why are you putting that on the tree? It doesn't look good, but it's my ornament. I don't care. Okay.
That's true. You can make stuff and get it on the fridge, though. I've seen that over there for you. But it's great to have everybody here. Again, 847-931-1410 is the place to go if you are looking at jumping into the conversation. Was there something that you read today, something that you saw out there in Newsland that you want to talk about? You go ahead and give us a call. Shoot us a text at 505-926-1410. I've got one of the things I want to
Well, didn't
talk
Brendan
about.
just tell us about what happened
Yeah.
in North Carolina?
There was a plane
breaking
crash.
story. Yeah, breaking story.
A Cessna C-550 crashed while landing at Statesville Regional Airport around 10:20 a.m., killing retired NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and family in a large fire. Flight tracking data show the jet returned about 8 minutes after takeoff, which officials reporting engine trouble shortly after and adverse weather, including drizzle and low cloud ceiling at Statesville Regional Airport. The FAA records link the aircraft to GB Aviation Leasing LLC, and a source briefed on the situation told CNN 6 people died. Photographs and video from WSOC TV show the jet engulfed in flames. Airport officials say Statesville Regional Airport is closed while crews clear the debris. The National Transportation Safety Board and Federal Aviation Administration are investigating, and local state highway patrol and Iredell County Sheriff's Office teams are proceeding are processing the scene. His off-track humanitarian efforts include and him being Greg Biffle, include Hurricane Helene relief and Myers Brothers Award, earned praise from colleagues and officials, with Congressman Richard Hudson mourning his passing.
He was one of the ones that were flying helicopters in and out to rescue people, and
Really?
yeah, and getting aid into them too, like water and supplies.
For North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely tragic.
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
That and our hearts go out to the Biffle family and friends as well. It's just it's one of those things that, again, statistically is going to happen, has happened.
Mhm.
And this is another one of those private planes that have crashed. I mean, we had one just recently over at the Des Plaines Airport this week too.
DuPage.
DuPage,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
the DuPage.
St. Charles. Mm-hmm.
So that one, there were 2 men in that plane that
Mhm.
that died as well. So it's just I don't think it's an epidemic to that point. I think at the end of the day, we've had terrible weather. We've had back and forth. I mean, my rear view mirror popped off because of
Really?
the temperature changes. Yeah, it fell
Wow.
right off. Came in this morning. Rear view mirror fell off because of
Was your
how
doors
cold it
frozen
was.
too?
Oh man, yeah, I'll tell you, my the motor in my windows
Oh yeah.
froze out. See,
Yeah, your windows don't open because
the
of the
car
rain. We
I
had the rain.
drive, yeah, is the boss lady's old car from
Mhm.
Florida. So this thing lived half of its life in Florida,
Oh,
and then I
geez.
took it up here to the hard cold. And so every time we go below freezing, something breaks. And so until I can get the window motor put back together, I'm one of
Yeah.
those tape guys. that-
You mean person. You meanie. Bringing that car all the way up from Florida.
I know. So I absolutely understand it. I mean, this isn't like what we had with Boeing, right?
Yeah.
A couple years ago, Boeing was having a lot of issues because of whether it was safety inspections or just not putting the right quality material in there. At some points, I think there were even bolts missing for some of
That's
the
not
planes
good.
when they were inspecting some of these things. So
Those are those 727s. That 727 model, wasn't that?
I
Or-
think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, where
yeah.
the door like literally fell
Yeah,
off.
they had a couple of doors fly off while they
Yeah.
were in the air, and a couple of bolts missing is not a good thing. I
No,
mean,
when the pilot of your plane turns around and says, "Let's blow the doors off this thing," that's
Yeah,
you
no.
gotta stay away from it.
Especially when
So
you're sitting in your seat and you look down and there's a bolt on the floor. Hey,
That's-
what's this for?
that's very true. So for me, this is always a reminder to check the safety features in your vehicles too.
Oh, yeah.
So check to make sure that your tires are inflated the right way. I mean, at the end of the day, windows being able to roll up and down or other things like that sometimes isn't always the the safety side of it. Maybe that's a vanity thing or something like
Mhm.
that. But make sure that you also have safety tools inside of your car the winter season as well. So you're looking at blankets.
Mhm.
If you can, get one of those smaller shovels. Sometimes they can
Yeah.
find some of those collapsible shovels just in case your car, let's say you go to work and it snows and you got to shovel out your car, or you happen to be out on one of these county roads and you spin around and you got to dig yourself out to get there. So we keep a little foldable shovel in our vehicles. Blankets, extra water just
Gloves.
in case, gloves,
Hat, yeah.
hat, like an extra blanket, like those kinds of things. Sometimes also a portable radio,
Mhm.
also in there in case you are stranded. Because we hear these horror stories about people sliding off the road, getting buried by whatever snow that comes
Right.
out, and you never know when that could be you or anything else.
Well, too, like when they had the blizzard of 2011,
Okay.
which I think was our last blizzard. All the people stranded on Lakeshore Drive, the deep snow, and the snow gets above your exhaust. And you got your car running to stay warm.
Yeah.
You're also getting carbon dioxide in your car.
And
So
that's
that's
what I
why the
mean.
shovel is a good thing. Scoop some snow away from that exhaust to allow that to go on out there, because you could actually carbon dioxide poison in your own car just trying to stay warm.
Exactly. I mean, when we say you need a blanket to stay in your car, you're like, "You silly person, I just turn up my heat on my
Yeah, right.
on my car," right? And that's exactly why you don't. So, Chief Sagan, Fire Chief of Elgin, has put out quite a few different things on the Elgin Fire and Police Facebook
Mhm.
side. So if you're looking at some of those things, also you can always call the non-emergency line for questions like this. I mean, we think about emergency services as like there's emergency that's happening right now,
Right.
like preparing in case there is an emergency for something else. That's also what they're there for, to call them and say, "Hey, I'm trying to put together an emergency kit for my car. What would you suggest to put in there?" He'd probably turn around and say flares or
Right.
extra water, or there might be something that's in there that maybe we can't even comprehend. But he goes, "It
In the
saves
wintertime, it'd
lives."
be an icicle.
Yeah,
But I have a
exactly.
question for
Yes,
you.
sir.
I have a question for you. If you, uh, in the wintertime, it's cold. We lose power. You get a blizzard, high winds, knocks your power out. How would you stay warm if you don't have a fireplace?
Mm. How would you stay warm? I usually do for my backup. I have tea candles and pots.
Hmm.
We do the making a heat source where you
Right.
get a little tea light or a couple of those little candles, and then you put a ceramic pot on top of it, kind of suspended a little bit up so air
Right.
can still get into it. And what happens is that ceramic pot gets hot as a heat sink, and then
MacGyver.
you're able to kind of use that as a side too.
There's
Also, Crisco cans work too. If you take a piece of cloth, stick it all the way down in the middle, you can light a can of Crisco for like 8 hours or
really
so.
well. Also, too, is that your sparkler in your stove doesn't work, but if you
Mm.
got a stick lighter, boil a pot of water,
Oh,
and it puts moisture and it keeps the heat. Also, another trick, I helped out a family that they're in a cold spell about 4 years ago. Called me up, and power was out in Carpentersville, and I said, "You got a generator?" They were like, "Yeah." Get an extension cord, go to your furnace, power's off. Okay, flip the switch off.
mhm.
Take the two wires that come from the furnace off of the main power source coming in there, put the nuts back on the main power source,
Oh yeah.
and stick those two wires right into the extension cord, electrical tape them, fire up your generator. You got your furnace running.
Wow.
And you can actually stop your pipes from freezing. And they did that. They had the generator in the outside.
Yeah.
I said, put it outside the door, turn it on, and now you have your furnace going. And
Yeah.
everybody stays warm.
You're heating your whole house at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or else if you could get an electrician or you're knowledgeable, you could put a piggyback on there
Mm-hmm.
where you flip the switch off and then you can actually plug into into the outlet that's coming into there, right into there, and you got your furnace running.
Yeah, at a certain point, it might even be good for your house to just have a access panel.
Yeah.
To put one of those on the outside of your house, just so you don't have to keep your generator out there on the outside of your house all
Mhm.
the time, like getting weathered if you're not using it. But once you're using it, bring it outside,
Right.
plug it into that outside switch that you can flip from power or otherwise.
It's a lot of power you got to pull into there
That's
to do your
true.
whole house. That's why they have the Generac systems, which run off
Mhm.
of natural gas. And
Well, you
they're
can run.
expensive. They're expensive, though. I
That's
mean,
true.
a
Yeah.
$300, $400 generator at Menards or catch it at a garage sale or on
Mhm.
eBay, where you might be paying cheaper than that.
That's not so
Have the
bad.
gas supplied right there, and you got some heat. And guess what?
Mm.
You can plug your Wi-Fi in and watch your iPad,
Hey.
and plug your refrigerator in and freezer and keep your stuff all good.
What about kerosene? You ever do the kerosene guys? Those big old R2D2 looking
Yeah.
fellas that
Remember, you had to light it. You pushed a button, and the thing lifts
Yeah.
up. Yeah, I remember. I
Yeah.
remember those. Yeah, and then your house smells like kerosene.
Yeah, exactly. Well, those or any other heaters that you may be using, make sure that they are a good full step away from anything.
Yeah,
Not just anything flammable, because trust me, put enough heat on it, everything's flammable.
exactly.
Be a one full step. You're looking at about 3 to 4 feet from really anything. These are made to really stay in the center of a room and
Right.
kind of radiate out the rest of the way. So again, children and dogs or pets, you just kind of keep them away from those things. Those really thin steel bars don't really.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
don't really
I
keep
remember.
you out.
The more you say that, when I was a kid, my dad had one. I had two of those in case that ever happened. 'Cause we lived in the
Mhm.
country, and yeah, I remember that. And then you get the smell of the kerosene. You're like, "Hi,
Mhm.
Dad, how you doing today? Yeah, got a
Those
kerosene buzz."
to your point again, good job bringing that bad CO2. Always check, just like your fire detectors, your carbon monoxide detectors
Always,
as
always.
well. Also, there are some municipalities and some organizations that actually have free carbon monoxide
Yes, they do.
detectors as well. So again, call the non-emergency lines for some of these places. You'll be surprised of what programs are available. These are all things that maybe your taxpayers, that your tax money is paid for, so take advantage of it. Or it could be something that a organization has drummed up money for a nonprofit to put together. Either way, don't be out there on your own just trying to figure out the world. We're
Yeah.
all here in a society to work together and be a part
Well,
of it.
now that my taxes went up so much this year, I think I'm going to call it a non-emergency number every day and get my money's worth. Sonar, thanks for that advice.
So, okay, before we talk about the taxes, first thing I want to talk about is let's move on before we go to the break.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah, because the last half I want to talk about the actual taxes and all the different categories that have gone up. Because you've been to almost every single meeting of these. What I want to talk about first is the meeting that turned into a different meeting, right? The meeting for the city council on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
There's two meetings. There was one about the Maple Street incident,
Yeah.
and then there was another one that was about the tax levy.
Yeah. The budget.
And the budget in general. And so what happened? There was a miscommunication or something for those, because were you at both meetings? Or
Yeah,
did you
I
go
was
to the
at.
last
I got there, put my name on the list. I was there 6 o'clock. The first meeting started. It was about fire reports, police reports, and
and
Chief.
that's a 6 o'clock meeting, right?
Yeah, and Chief Lowry got up and addressed what happened on Maple Street on December 6th, Saturday, and it was under investigation. She did a great report, okay, and it was a thin crowd, and then that meeting actually ended up ending, according to my notes, at 6:40 p.m. So there was a break,
Okay.
and prior to that, every city council member actually got to give their little Christmas speak. And I like Steve Thorne's because he was talking about seniors and Christmas and check in on them. They don't, they should be around somebody. If they're alone, invite them to your house. It was really touching for
Absolutely.
seniors. Yeah. So Steve Thorne, shout out to you on that one. Other than that, then the break, and then 7 o'clock, the budget meeting starts. And the crowd started coming in. More and more people started coming in.
At
For
7 or
the,
something?
yeah, right before the 7 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
Okay. And so there were some miscommunications to the people that wanted to come in and talk about what happened on December 6th. And not knowing that it was a budget. So there were some miscommunications on their half. The city pretty much laid it out for everybody, the schedule. So
But they had to call it early because it just got disrupted the first round. They said the first 10 minutes or so into the
really
meeting.
like 5 minutes in,
Yeah.
they had a unruly person who was yelling and screaming and demanding that Chief Lowry was there, wanted to talk about December 6th. Our mayor calmly and politely asked him 3 times to stop, or he's going to throw everybody out of the meeting for a while, take a break, and that's what ended up happening. So they cleared the room about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Everybody out. City council, everybody. So we were in the hall. We came back in. Meeting resumed, and they were all pretty much calmed down. They were still yelling out in the hallway, but anyhow. So the meeting starts in, and then if you come to a city council meeting and you want to speak, you got to put your name on a list, and then those are public comments. So they take the public comments first, and there were some issues like. 3 elderly lady talked about a proposed new housing site on Golf Road.
Okay.
I think it was 896 Golf Road in that area. They were against it, spoke their minds. There were 7 individuals that were actually speaking their mind about what happened on December 6th
Okay.
with the ICE incident.
At the budget meeting, not
at the
not
budget
one.
meeting,
Okay.
right.
Either way, they still got to say something.
Yeah, and then I was the last person to get to speak, and I was the only one that talked about the tax increase. I was like, I was the only one that talked about it, and I was shocked. I was literally shocked. I kind of asked them if there's some rooms for some compromise, maybe change the percentage. My 13-year-old, 150-pound, 5'7" son is eating me out of house and home. My mortgage, I got a statement from my mortgage company, and it's $200 more a month.
Wow.
That's with the taxes, and I'm sure my insurance company jacked it up. But that doesn't include what ECC just did and what Elgin Township just did last Monday, and what The city of Elgin has done.
And that's what I want to talk about when we come back from the bottom of the hour break with news and weather. By the way, news and weather bottom of the hour for
Yeah.
WRMN most every single hour, in case you're wondering. But that's what I want to talk about. When we talked about Biden's inflation or the inflation that happened under COVID, we always talked about how this was like greedflation, right? They were using COVID or using the inflation numbers to kind of add a little bit extra, right? Kind of just plausible deniability of it's inflation, but highest records, highest whatever. And that's kind of what I want to talk about when we come back is it's not always the president of the United States that's in charge of the economy. Never
Right.
is, wasn't under Biden, isn't under Trump either. There's a lot of different people that are at the helm. Like, let's not just say at fault. Let's just say there are a lot of people and a lot of different factors that control. And so where I think maybe some of this may be is there may be municipalities or there may be governance that's going, well, inflation's already up anyway, cost of living's already up anyway. Why not get our little bit too? Otherwise, we might not get it in the future.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about all the different avenues that revenue is coming in from the government, because the Federal Reserve is saying a lot of this inflation is happening because of other taxes, those taxes that have a different name called tariffs. And so is inflation happening right now because of the government?
For World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more today at bfa.com/cardfwc26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green, host and moderator of a political talk show. If you ever want to listen to it, it is archived on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com and find us there at WRMN Radio. I'm thinking this year we're also going to get a couple more YouTube channels for some of our shows too.
Cool.
So we're going to possibly put together the WRMN Sports channel for YouTube. We will have my channel broken off, and I think maybe even Talk Time with Tammy and Friends might end up with their own YouTube channel. So a lot of it is to diversify out of just here on the WRMN channel. So the WRMN Morning Show, they'll stay on the WRMN's channel. And that way, it's less about putting a bunch of volume at you on the WRMN channel. It'll be more about all of the special interviews that we've got. And then the individual shows, all of the shows will be archived right there on their own channel. So if you want to go deeper, but let's say we do another great interview with Dr. Renteria.
Yeah.
So instead of me posting the whole hour of a political talk show on the WRMN channel, you'll just get the interview with Dr. Renteria. And if you want to watch the rest of the episode, you can go over to the other channel. So we're kind of jumping out a little bit more. So now's the time to like and subscribe to the main channel. That way, when we start doing a bit more of this branching out, you can go out there. Also, WRMN1410.com will have every single change, all of the information right there on that page. You'll be able to... I'm working with webmaster and musician extraordinaire Mike Patty for the website, and we're building that news feed. You were talking about how we get suggestions from people.
Right.
And one of the suggestions was that we did more news, more local things. So I'm working with him to build a local Fox River Valley news feed, so that you can go to WRMN 1410 and see all of the different feeds from the different fire departments and
Ooh.
different municipalities. You won't
like
have
that.
to go to Facebook and have to search for everything and wait for Facebook to feed you the algorithm. If you want to know what's happening in the Fox River Valley, you'll be able to go to WRMN1410.com, and then all of those important feeds will all be put together for you right there. So
It's like going to Myers and Walmart to do all your shopping, food, clothes, laundry. Yeah,
absolutely.
right there. That's great. I love it.
Head on over there for all of the information right now, and see what we've been working on, WRMN1410.com. So we're going to talk about the tax side of it. And so let me just lay out my theory first of where I think some of this is going. We had under President Biden, we had a goods inflation, right? Throughout my entire lifetime, we've had housing, education, and healthcare. Those three have always been outpacing regular inflation anyway. Let's just talk about cost of living type of things of groceries, heating, power, things like that. The regular staples that aren't necessarily the ones that are skyrocketing for the last couple decades. The ones that have been pretty stable but went pretty high under Biden and under COVID.
Yeah.
We saw them go, and I think a lot of that was shipping. A lot of that was COVID itself. A lot of it was that side. President Biden also decided to give everybody a whole bunch of money, which, again, in the speech the other day of giving every single service member $1,776 is what he said. I don't know where he's getting the $3 trillion to give that out, but it was absolutely something that everybody screamed about Biden and adding more inflation, right? Put more money into the system. So it's weird how the tables have turned. But at the end of the day, where I see the inflation that's happening now isn't supply chain issues, isn't greedflation 100%. A lot of the inflation that's happening right now is still residuals of whatever we got from Biden. 100%, I'll give you on that one. Although, if you look at the last year, it was trending downwards. So it wasn't until, Emancipation Day in April that we flattened out. We were no longer trending down. We went flat. This is where I think a lot of it started. With this, with the tariffs for goods, then you turn around with the big, beautiful bill taking funding from states. What happens is the goods went up because of tariffs, and the states turned around and said, well, where are we going to get our money? We have to get this COVID money back. We have to get all these other things. We're now starting to see COVID-era programs sunset. This is when they decided to sunset them. Is 25 is 5
over,
years
yeah.
is what we'll do it for, right?
Yeah.
So so now we're starting to see the states turn around and raise taxes on a bunch of different things, whether it's goods or entertainment for a luxury tax, or they're raising levies for things off of property tax, or even energy tax that we're seeing for some things as solar or renewable resources or different plants are being built and then put onto the power side of it. But I think that this inflation is happening, and not from President Trump specifically, not from the Republicans that are in control specifically. What I'm saying is I think this inflation is government made. I think the government itself on the entire level is raising our cost of living.
Do you honestly think that?
Yeah.
You do have a very valuable point. But
Mhm.
if you remember, before COVID,
Yeah.
eggs weren't $8 a dozen.
Mhm.
It's government, like you said, but I still think we still got a lot of corporate greed. It just ain't going to bring those
I'm not
prices
saying
back.
it's
Yeah, right.
100%.
It's a
Yeah.
contributing factor
But
too.
I
We got to
think
look at that.
they're using each other,
Right.
right? The corporations are using, inflation.
Yeah.
It's going up. I don't know what's going on. Raise the prices a little bit. I don't know what's happening
Right.
over here. So you can't have record high inflation and record high returns for
Right.
your company and then go, it's not us. 100%. I'm with you on that
exactly.
one.
Yeah.
I think also the government is turning around and going, well, cost of living is going up. Well, now's our chance to get our piece out of this. And this is where it becomes a feeding frenzy, because at the end of the day, it's us. We're the ones that generate the market. We're the
Hmm.
ones that move things. We're the locomotion of the market. And so they have to come after us for the money.
Right.
And so I think they're playing this game with each other of whose fault is it, what's going on. But we don't have supply chain issues. We don't have resource issues for anything. So as far as the mechanics of the market goes, I don't think there's really anything there. I think it's the middlemen for the inflation to set the price of whatever they think that they want it to be. And I think it is the government side of it turning around and saying, well, I'm going to take our piece too. I think it's turning into a feeding frenzy at a certain point where it's like, well, if the corporations and the healthcare gouge them out too much, then we can't raise our taxes
Yep.
because they'll get even more mad at us. So it's almost a race to the bone.
We're the food.
Yeah.
That's who they're feeding on. We're the food. It's like I told you off the air. I
Mm.
mean, with the hit we took just this year on local, federal, state, local
Mhm.
taxes increased this year alone. When I said that, my mortgage went up $200 a month. I mean,
It's crazy.
I know that I'm sure my homeowner insurance went up too
Mhm.
because I got State Farm. They said they were going to jack people's prices up. But okay, so I'm paying $200 more a month. That's what, $2,400 more a year.
Yeah.
And my wife
Mhm.
just found out she got a 58 cents an hour raise today.
Yeah.
That's not going to cover the difference. And
Yeah.
remember one thing, Sonar, when all these municipalities, sales tax, bag taxes, everything that's going on up, food taxes, gas taxes, the bottom line is, like we said, these corporations are going to pass it on to us.
Yeah, every
And they're
time.
going to add a little bit, another penny or two, just
Oh,
to
of
make
course.
sure that we do that. Just like when we got rid of the pennies. Now, when you order your food, they round it up. Well, why don't you just get rid of the 97 or the 99? Just make it the
Mhm.
95 or the 0.
Yeah, you should round it, or they
Change
should
your
put the new one
prices,
in.
yeah. Because I got a friend screaming, they screwed me out of 3 pennies. Really, seriously? That's what
Mhm.
you're mad
That's
about?
false advertising.
Yeah. But I mean, these corporations, when the government taxes us,
Mhm.
like you just said, feeding frenzy going on here. These corporations, they're not going to absorb the loss.
No.
So they pass it to us, and then they add a little bit more on.
Mhm.
So that bag of chips that you were paying $4, $5.99 now
Mm.
is going to be $6.37
And
now.
and let me burst everybody's bubble right now, despite of what any candidate will ever tell you, prices don't come down. I'm
No.
sorry, they don't.
Mm-mm.
And here's the problem: you don't want them to. Most of the recessions that we have had have happened under Republican leadership. And what ends up happening with that recession is prices go down to the point where we do not have growth within the United States. Here's the super secret sauce for capitalism: you always have to be bigger than you were yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. You always have to be bigger. You have to be bigger and get bigger and have it bigger. And all the number in the pie chart and the line graph always has to go up. It can't go sideways. It can't go down. It always has to go up. So what you do is you control that line. A 2%, 2.5% inflation with maybe a 3%, 3.5% unemployment rate. That's always been the happy medium for
Mm-hmm.
steady GDP growth and for us to have reasonable interest rates. Not saying super low interest rates, but reasonable interest rates around that 7, 6, hopefully 5%
Yeah.
side of it. And so when we don't have that, there's multiple different levers and multiple different people that are all trying to kind of get us back to that equilibrium. And sometimes people overcorrect, people undercorrect, like I think Powell has done. I think Powell has undercorrected probably for the entire time he's been there. Look, I agree with President Trump that Jerome Powell really hasn't done a good job with everything.
Right.
But I wasn't the guy that appointed him.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a lot of it. And you can make mistakes. I get it. It's just we don't want to go and overcorrect the other direction. If we turn around and lower interest rates to the point where there is no more growth, we can have incredible inflation and incredible demand that happens with everything, which will increase everything. So where I think the Republican solution, so let's just talk solutions, where I think the Republican solution of this, and we've heard it from J.D. Vance and a couple of other people, but the Republican Party's solution for this has been deportation. They said the reason that housing is so expensive, the reason that healthcare is so expensive is because there's 20 million people in the country that are eating up the resources. Essentially, what they're saying is it's a demand side issue. It's not a supply side issue. It's not a corporate side issue. They're saying it is a demand side issue. If we have less people, there's less demand, and therefore prices would come down. Is that a reasonable solution to target demand, or should this be more of a regulation at the top solution?
Well, in 2008,
Mhm.
our housing market, our economy crashed.
Yeah.
In November. I remember that quite well because I was laid off from my job.
Yeah, I got out of the military in
You're right.
October.
So I watched building houses, subdivisions going up with young people, young couples with kids. Wife doesn't work. They got to be in their mid-20s, okay, with a $300,000 house. And they put it on their mortgage to get all the furniture, to get the patio furniture, to get the patio done. And when you don't got two people working and the economy crashes, they knew those people weren't going to be able to keep up their mortgage payments.
Yep.
And what ended up happening is foreclosures skyrocketed. Now, these big, rich corporation people that invest, buy these things up, even to today, this still goes on. It's still up there. And they get all this stuff. So they don't want inflation today to come down because they're making money with more people, less housing, higher rent. But if you bring the inflation down where people could buy their houses nowadays, for example, I'm not saying there's a big apartment complex over on Congdon Avenue. And I know that when they're occupied to the fullest, they're getting the max rent. But when you got more people buying houses and their occupancies are shrinking, they have to lower their rent. Now, that place is owned by a Fortune 500 corporation that's nationwide. Well, these people are paying, donating to politicians, both sides of the aisle, to keep those interest rates right there. Don't make it better.
Yep.
It's like the Powerball is what? $1.5 billion for Sunday's drawing. You could just give everybody in America $1 million. We would never have to worry about finances ever again, mortgages ever again. But then we'd have to worry about who is actually going to work because we'd all quit our jobs. If you pull up to a McDonald's and go, hello, anybody there? Because we all got $1 million. You know what I mean?
And the inflation part of it too. Of
right.
how,
But
how it would go.
it's to me, it's government.
Mhm.
It's corporations. I mean, when COVID, after COVID and all that stuff, and they figured out how to make a Hostess apple pie in a box when you buy those box size to be a 1 bite size apple pie. I'm not joking. I'm like, I opened up the box. You used to get a square about that big. I'm looking at the camera, about that big. Now it's about that big. It's like half the size. It's a bite size. But the price went up. The quantity went down. I mean, the size went down. The weight went down. And the price went up.
Is this where we've kind of hit this crux of the relationship of our government isn't with the people, right? The only thing they want from us are the votes. So they have to do enough just to keep our votes, right? Have you ever seen the movie Office Space? The main character, Peter, talks about how his only motivation is just to do enough work to not get fired.
Yeah.
So it seems like the government side of things is they'll do enough to not get voted out or not be able to collect donations or not be able to fight, whatever it is. But it seems to be that their actual bosses, their actual paychecks don't come from us.
Right.
They don't seem to. Or maybe the paychecks come from themselves. We talk about the representation that we get. And let's skip high up, because I don't like talking about bad government and also local government at the same time, because a lot of times local government is the best side of all of our government. So let's talk about it from the national aspect of it. Most of the people in the House of Representatives and senators are billionaires. They already are. We cannot relate together. We can't. When was the last time a billionaire had a pack of ramen noodles? When was the last time you had a pack of ramen noodles? See,
Yesterday.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Those two differences are way out there. Okay, or McDonald's, or went bowling, or didn't go skydiving, or didn't take a European vacation. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many differences in it. Even to the point where when our Congress people look at tax code, they look at the tax code and they say, we've got two options. I can either charge myself as a billionaire an extra $15,000 a year in my taxes as a billionaire and help, I don't know, however many people that happens. Or I can give myself $50,000 of tax cuts. And so that's why we see what we're seeing right now. And I don't mean to disillusion you. What I mean to do is I mean to instill a refocus. We need to refocus back to the workers, back to the people that actually represent us, back to the people that can tell you the last time they had a pack of ramen noodles.
Yesterday. It's the first aisle I go to in a store now. I can't afford anything.
Why not? No, man, you throw that with I put either the packs of tuna or chicken in there too, depending on it. I'll tell you.
Hey, that's actually steak. That's a steak and noodles there all together. Just about
poor man's lunch right there. I'll take it.
Put
all
your
day.
cracker in there, and put a cracker and dip it in there. That's a meal right there nowadays. But I like it. I'm not running for anything. PC is a non-paying job. Okay, I just help candidates, but I'm going to have fun this year with all these people, because they're going to go, well, if you vote for me, I'm going to make sure we don't raise taxes. We're going to do other things. I'm going to go, liar, prove it right now. Prove it. Because when I ran for King County Board, the first thing I said is, why would I want to raise my own taxes?
Yeah.
I would rather take a clipboard and a pen, and while the rest of them are sitting at home, start going into different offices. How many people we got working here? I know we hate to lay people off, but.
And that's what I mean, the representation. So when you live in the area, or you are a person who's going to be affected by these tax cuts or tax raises, then it actually matters. When you have a person that's so disconnected from the everyman, I mean, right now we have the richest president that we have ever had in our entire history. We have the richest, oldest president we have ever had in our entire history. How, as any Gen Z person who is struggling with their 3 roommates to make rent this month.
Yeah.
How are any of those people going to turn around and say, yes, those people care about my future?
Yeah,
it's hard.
It is a little hard with that aspect, but you got to look at the other side here. I mean, what blows my mind, Sonar, and I want to go into the state really quickly.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. Video poker. Legalized marijuana. Now, sports betting, 2 years into the making, $52 billion a year industry, may even be more. All this new revenue that the state of Illinois is getting. Now, the state doesn't share legalized sports betting. That's theirs to keep. And I think they get 15.5% of tax off their pressure wanted to raise it to 30. And they're like, we'll pack up and leave. Yeah. They'll still do online. I still get it. You know?
You'll still get the 30.
So he backed off of that. But, there was a battle. But he's trying to take. But the bottom line is, all this new revenue over the last 10 years, and then the tollway's still there, and I know you got
Trust
all that
me,
stuff.
it's coming.
It blows my mind that we still have to raise taxes. When this is something new that we haven't had for 10 years, especially legalized sports betting. $52 billion-a year industry, and I think that's just in the state of Illinois alone.
It's coming. I think they're going to hit there, but they're using this time here in an off-season election where it's not a primary, it's not a side to it. I think they're using this off year to get their pound of flesh just like everybody else.
But like you just said, it's a government-made tax, okay? This government-made program with pot, betting, gambling is also causing mental problems. Gambling is an addiction, it's a mental issue. Legalized marijuana and now a drug, it's a mental issue.
And you're paying for that on
And
the
we're
back
paying
end
for that
again.
too. It's a vicious cycle and we get stuck all the time.
We can. Hey, stick around. We've got some great WRMN programming coming up after this. You guessed it. It's Big Top Sports with Derek Geyer. He's going to talk about the Bears game that's happening tomorrow. That same game you can listen to here on the WRMN 1410 airwave. We'll see you on Monday.